Hello my trainer friends, Pokemonty here. In today's video we're taking a look at an excellent Open Great League team. The strength of this team is its immense bulk in the back line, featuring Stone Edge Clodsire and Air Slash Mandibuzz. Now these are not the recommended movesets from PV Poke, but in my opinion these are the better choices. Stone Edge on Clodsire allows super effective damage into flyers and easily one-shots Talonflame. It does make the Azumarill matchup a bit more tricky, but I find a trade-off well worth it. Running Air Slash on Mandibuzz will generate energy slower, however allows you to have substantially more fast move pressure into the likes of Primeape and Annihilape, which are everywhere at the current moment. In fact, running Air Slash now allows you to win all even shielding scenarios against Primeape and the 2 shields against Annihilape, as long as Annihilape is not running Ice Punch. Leading out the team is one of the best well-rounded Pokemon in the Great League currently in Shadow Feraligatr. I went overwhelmingly positive with this team, including 9 wins and 1 loss in back-to-back sets. So let's jump into these matches and outbulk our opponents. Jumping right into the first match here, we are leading into Drapion. Now this is the non-Shadow version of Drapion, so we're going to see how we're going to play this out. I am going to go ahead and throw the Hydro Cannon on the CMP tie. Now they could bait me with an Aqua Tail, and if that's the case, they can outpace the Crunch before my next Hydro Cannon, but they actually full send the Crunch. We're going to farm up again here, and I'm going to throw another Hydro Cannon. They're actually going to make a catch on the Gastrodon. Now, this really isn't a response to Shadow Feraligatr, as you're going to see here. I can easily farm up to another Hydro Cannon, actually one passed. I tried to make a catch on the Mandibuzz there. Now, that catch was unsuccessful, but Mandibuzz has a dominating matchup here. In fact, I'm just going to be able to farm them down. They're actually running Water Pulse, so it's still, though, that does really nothing to Mandibuzz. Still well into the green. I do play to a CMP tie there. I do not win that over Drapion. They're going to fire off their move. It's actually Sludge Bomb. Okay, so we know Drapion is on Crunch Sludge Bomb. Fire my Aerial Ace here, and I'm just going to fire off the other Aerial Ace immediately here. And this is going to land and get Drapion deep into the red. I'm going to continue to farm up here. I'm going to save my shield and let Mandibuzz get KO'd. They go for the Sludge Bomb. I bring in Feraligatr. They switch into Diggersby. Now, we want to keep Clodsire the heck away from Diggersby. So this is wonderful that they switch into Diggersby. I have back-to-back Hydro Cannons. First Hydro Cannon grabs a shield. Second Hydro Cannon, they're not going to be able to shield this. Can I make another Hydro Cannon before they KO me? I can't. But here's where the bulk of Clodsire comes in. I am not shielding this move. They're going to hit me with a Scorching Sands. There is no debuff, which is excellent for me. I am going to no shield the second Scorching Sands. Now watch what the opponent tries to do here. They farm up. They try to make a catch, and because I know they're not on Aqua Tail, I'm going to be able to farm them down completely and leave with an Earthquake. And as you can see, the opponent has top lefted before my Earthquake lands, and that is a win for us. GG's. Jumping into the next match, we lead into Shadow Jumpluff. Now you might be saying this might be a terrible lead for Feraligatr to see, but actually that's not the case, and you're going to see why. We're both farming up. I play to a CMP tie with them. I am going to bait with the Hydro Cannon, hoping to grab a shield. They do shield, and they're firing back. I am going to match shields with them right now. They go for an Aerial Ace bait themselves. Now here, I make an interesting play. I throw the Hydro Cannon. I know they're not going to shield us, but I want damage on this Pokemon. I'm going to continue to farm up here, and I'm going to make a catch on the Mandibuzz. Now, did I catch the Energy Ball? Yes, I did. That is an excellent catch, but in comes Shadow Typhlosion, and my happiness is very short-lived. Typhlosion, especially Shadow, is scary. They're going to throw their Thunder Punch. I'm going to no-shield that because I know he can survive it. I'm going to fire off an Aerial Ace. I fully expect them not to shield this either, and they're going to get a full Incinerate farm down. Now, what I expect them to do here is to blind throw the Thunder Punch. So I bring in Clodsire, and I am correct. They blind throw the Thunder Punch. This is going to do no damage to Clodsire. I bring back in Feraligatr. I get the Snipe with the Shadow Claw. They bring in Jumpluff, and now I have enough energy that a Hydro Cannon will actually KO them. They use a shield. So now they are forced to throw energy into Feraligatr, and I'm going to let this go. I have Clodsire at near full health with a shield. So they're going to KO me there. I bring in Clodsire. They are throwing a move here, which is interesting to me. They're going to hit me with an Aerial Ace. And now you see why. In comes Talonflame. And trainer, I am so sorry. I'm about to one-shot your Talonflame. Goodbye, Talonflame. They bring back in Jumpluff, and I farm them down. That's a win. GG's. Jumping into the next match, we are leading into Galvanian Cressola. Now, you want to talk about bulky Pokemon? Galvanian Cressola is bulky. But we are going to fire off the Hydro Cannon and try to do some damage to it. We'll see what the opponent decides to do. They shield. We're going to farm up, and they are going to throw their move, which is the Nightshade. I am going to match shields with them. I am going to continue to farm up. They try to make a catch on the Guzzlord. Now here, I'm just going to throw the Ice Beam. I either want that second shield, or I want massive damage. They do shield. I immediately swap into Clodsire, and here is where the bulk of Clodsire, again, just comes in clutch. I'm telling you, this Pokemon is excellent. Brutal Swing lands, does nothing to Clodsire. We are going to fire back with the Earthquake. This is going to inflict massive damage on the Guzzlord. And now they're going to throw energy again. And again, I'm going to no-shield this. Brutal Swing lands, doesn't do anything to Clodsire. And I am going to pick up the knockout here with the Stone Edge. They are out of shields, so there's nothing they can do in this situation. We're going to see what the opponent decides to do. They bring back in Cressola. And now here, again, the bulk comes through. They are forced to throw a move, or I am going to get to the Stone Edge. They hit me with the Nightshade, knocks me out. I farm up one with Feraligatr. They make a catch onto Wiggly Tough of the Hydro Cannon. Now here is a problem Pokemon for Mandibuzz to see, but because the energy generation is so slow with Wigglytuff, I'm going to make it to the Aerial Ace before they make the Icy Wind. They are one off the Icy Wind. It doesn't quite KO, but I get the KO with the Air Slash. They bring back in Cressola. They realize up a shield that I am winning this game, and the opponent concedes the match. GG's. Queuing up the next match, we lead into Gastrodon. Now this is a very neutral lead for Feraligatr to see. We are going to farm up here, and they are going to throw off energy. Now I'm going to shield this, and it ends up being a Body Slam. I'm going to continue to farm up well past 2 Hydro Cannons. I am looking to throw my first Hydro Cannon here, and we'll see what the opponent decides to do. They let it go, they're deep in the red, and I CMP tie them on the second Hydro Cannon. I want to deny their energy. They shield. So now in this situation, I am going to expend my final shield, and I'm just going to look for a farm down here. And I'm going to easily get the farm down. We'll see what the opponent decides to bring in, and they bring in a Talonflame. Oh my goodness. And yes, I let that Incinerate go through. Oh, that hurts so bad. I do get off the Hydro Cannon, and they do shield, so I bring in Clodsire, and they're throwing energy. And at this point, I mean, even a Brave Bird isn't going to knock out Clodsire. I throw the Stone Edge in the middle of their Incinerate animation, and this is just going to straight up knock out. Talonflame falls out of the skies, they bring in Drapion, and they concede the match. GG's. Next match, we lead into Wiggly Tough. This could be the dangerous Charm Double Ground team. We're going to stay in here with Feraligatr, and we're going to play this match out and see what happens. I'm going to throw off my Hydro Cannon. They let it go, and they're going to deny me my second Hydro Cannon by throwing energy. Now, I choose to let this go. I'm going to try to get as much farm as I can on Clodsire. Clodsire enters the field of play, and the opponent is staying in, and they're getting extremely low here, and they're finally throwing energy. I'm going to no-shield this, and it's only a Swift, and down goes Wigglytuff. They bring in Marowak, so this might be the double ground. I immediately throw my Earthquake. They let it go through, and I'm going to continue to farm up. I get to another Earthquake. We'll see what the opponent decides to do in this situation. They let it go again. So now they are deep into the red, and Clodsire has done his job. I'm going to let this go. I queue up into Mandibuzz. Immediately, I keep Clodsire alive, and you'll see why later on. They bring in Drifblim now. Now I'm going to have to shield this. It's going to be an Icy Wind. Now I'm debuffed. And I had to use a shield. I am going to go for an Aerial Ace bait now and see if I can't grab that shield back. Even debuffed, they actually do shield that, which is excellent for me. I am going to shield again. They go for another Icy Wind. I am really debuffed at this point. But I'm going to still farm up, and I'm going to go for another Aerial Ace bait. I want that second shield, and the opponent gives it to me. They are going to throw energy again. I have no shield to hide behind. This Icy Wind is going to land. But look what I do. I swap in the Clodsire. I reset the debuff. I farm up 1 Air Slash. They try to make a catch on the Marowak. They cannot. And I lead with the Dark Pulse and the Drift Blim, and this will easily KO them, and we take that game. GG's. Okay, next match. We have a wonderful lead against Clodsire. An opponent immediately swaps out into Dugong. Now, Dugong is an issue for this back line. So I am forced to stay in with Feraligatr. I'm going to throw off my Hydro Cannon before they can debuff me. And they shield. So I'm assuming this is going to be an Icy Wind. So I'm going to call it. And they do send a Drill Run. So now I am not debuffed. Now these Hydro Cannons aren't going to do a lot of damage, but they will add up. The first one lands. I am going to shield this move even if it's an Icy Wind. They do send the Icy Wind. Now I am debuffed. I'm going to continue to farm up, and I'm throwing another Hydro Cannon here. Now this will actually come close to knocking the opponent out. They live on 1 HP. I bring in Clodsire, and I snipe down with the Poison Sting. They bring in their own Clodsire, and now I am always going to be up 1 Poison Sting in this matchup. I am going to full send the Earthquake here. The opponent lets it go through, and they are throwing off energy. I am going to immediately no-shield this. They are going to send their own Earthquake. We're going to continue to farm up here. The opponent could have maybe tried to go for a catch depending on what was in the back. They did not. I send the Earthquake again, and I grab the final shield. Clodsire, I feel, has done their job. I'm going to let this go through. The Earthquake knocks me out. Mandibuzz comes in, and the opponent is staying in. I am going to farm up some energy here. They are going to throw their move. This could be a Stone Edge, so I am going to respect that with the shield. It is only the Sludge Bomb, which does incrementally less damage than the Stone Edge would do. They make a great catch onto Jumpluff. Jumpluff is going to have a difficult time here against Mandibuzz. The Fairy Winds do hit for super effective damage, but everything else is resistant. So I am just going to go for Aerial Ace after Aerial Ace in this matchup, and Jumpluff is already in the yellow. I'm going to continue to farm up. They are throwing energy. It could be Acrobatics, which would do a sizable chunk of damage. They only have Aerial Ace. They throw it. They have back-to-back Aerial Aces, so they're going to throw their second Aerial Ace. It lands. I'm going to farm up. They switch back in the Clodsire. I try to throw my move, but they win that CMP tie, and this will be a Sludge Bomb. It will get me into the red. I'm going to farm up as much as I can here, and Aerial Ace probably would have been close to knocking them out. I didn't want to risk it. I just full sent the Dark Pulse, and now it's a race. If I can make it to the Aerial Ace before Jumpluff, and I can, this will knock out Jumpluff. And the opponent has force closed the app, so after a little bit of lag, we take that game. GG's. Okay, now we lead into Licky. Again, another neutral lead for Shadow Feraligatr to see. We're going to continue to farm up, and this is only a Body Slam, so I am going to no-shield this. Feraligatr can easily tank that. I'm going to continue to farm up, and I am one off back-to-back Hydro Cannons. I'm going to throw my first Hydro Cannon here, and they shield it. So I am going to immediately throw my second Hydro Cannon and see if we can maybe get a second shield. And they don't shield this one, obviously. So they are going to farm up and throw some more energy. I am in Body Slam range, so I am going to shield. I'm going to try to farm up, but they get to another Body Slam. Roll out. The energy generation is absurd. I am going to shield this. I'm going to farm up and throw another Hydro Cannon. This will pick up the knockout if they don't shield again. They let it go. Now in comes Dunsparce, another rollout user. Can I make it to the Hydro Cannon? I can. This will inflict some damage onto Dunsparce. They actually shield it. And now I'm in a dilemma. My back line does not like Dunsparce. So they're going to farm up. This will assuredly be a Drill Run. Again, Clodsire is very bulky. It can tank that Drill Run pretty easily. They're farming up and throwing another Drill Run. And they bring in Cresselia, a Confusion Cresselia. And this match is just going to be a loss. There is no way I'm going to be able to clutch this victory. I'm going to farm up. I defer the Confusion onto Mandibuzz. But at this point, I mean, we'll play it out and see what happens. They actually have Moonblast instead of Future Sight as well. I'm going to farm up here to the Dark Pulse, and this is going to come very close to KOing them. I just have to hope that it does KO them, and it barely doesn't. I am able to get the air/farm down. They bring in Dunsparce. I'm going to continue to farm up, and I play to a CMP tie. I don't win that over Dunsparce. They're going to throw their energy. Rock Slide lands, gets me deep into the red. I'm going to fire off this Aerial Ace. It's going to land. I am going to immediately swap into Clodsire and throw an Earthquake and just hope upon hope that somehow this is going to put them in a range I can farm them down or KO them, and it doesn't, and they're already another move. If I played that a little cleaner, I might have been able to win that game. This becomes our first loss with this team. GG's. Next match, Dragonite. Shadow Dragonite. So we have a major problem on our hands here. The oppressive power of Shadow Dragon Breaths are absurd. I mean, Feraligatr is already in ELO at this point. I am going to throw off a Hydro Cannon on the CMP tie, which of course I do not win over Dragonite. They shield. They are going to continue to farm up. Can I make another Hydro Cannon? I barely can before they're going to KO me. And this will probably grab the second shield, which it does. And so now Clodsire is basically just a big damage sponge. I am going to let Clodsire tank Dragonclaw after Dragonclaw in this match, and I am not shielding him. Continuing to farm up here, they're going to throw some more energy. It's going to get me into the red, but Clodsire just does not care. I immediately queue up the switch in the Mandibuzz, and it's Gastrodon. And the opponent is staying in, and they're throwing energy as well, which makes me wonder what is in the back that they're not willing to switch out yet. They chip with a Body Slam, which does absolutely nothing to Mandibuzz, and they bring in their own Clodsire. I am going to throw the Dark Pulse here. It is going to land. It doesn't do much damage, but again, the Dark Pulses will add up over time. Now, this could be a Stone Edge, so I am going to shield this. It actually is a Stone Edge, so that was a good shield. I am going to throw another Dark Pulse. It's going to land, and I'm going to queue up the switch back into my own Clodsire, use that stored energy we had, Earthquake them and knock them out. Gastrodon will come back in, get the Mud Slap down. But now, Mandibuzz has a dominating matchup here. And, I mean, unless Gastrodon is running Water Pulse, they really don't have a chance in this matchup. They're going to continue to farm up. They throw a Body Slam there. They're going to throw some more energy here, and again, this is just going to be a Body Slam, and Mandibuzz will tank those all day long. Mandibuzz doesn't care about that. I'm going to return fire with the Dark Pulse. It is going to land, getting them deep into the red. Still farming up here. They're going to throw one last Body Slam here, and this is not going to come close to KOing. I get my Aerial Ace off, and again, the bulkiness of this team comes through, and we take that game. GG's. Okay, final match. We lead into the core breaker of core breakers in Unova Stunfisk. This Pokemon is going to be a problem for this team. I'm going to farm up and just play this match out, and I'm going to throw a Hydro Cannon here. They end up shielding that. Going to continue to farm up, and they're throwing energy as well. I'm going to match shields. They go for a Mud Bomb. They're already in another move, so I'm going to double shield in this situation. I really can't afford to swap out. They actually swap into Jump Pluff, I think, trying to catch the Hydro Cannon. So I am going to throw a Hydro Cannon bait. And they don't shield. They call it. And I am in shambles right now. I am in complete shambles. I bring in Mandibuzz. They're running acrobatics too. Oh my goodness. So we are going to farm up as much energy as possible. They're going to get to another acrobatics. This is going to land. Gets Mandibuzz in the red. I farm up the back-to-back Aerial Aces. I am trying to undercharge just slightly to maybe get just a little bit more farm, and it still knocks them out, unfortunately. They bring back in Stunfisk. I'm going to throw the Dark Pulse against Stunfisk. I just need to do as much damage as I possibly can to the Stunfisk right now. And they're just going to be able to farm me down, so I'm forced to swap out back into Feraligatr. I throw my Hydro Cannon. I'm hoping that they don't shield this, but they do shield it, and they're already at another move as well. And this is going to knock out Feraligatr, and I can't bring in Mandibuzz. I'll just get farmed down. So I'm forced to bring in Clodsire in this situation. I wait out my switch timer. I'm going to start farming up with Clodsire here. They're going to throw a Mud Bomb at me, and this will be super effective damage. I am going to throw a Stone Edge. I know it's a resistant move, but I just need damage on this Pokemon at this point. It still doesn't KO them. They switch into Powder Snow Sandslash, and this game is going to be a loss. This was Hard Counter City, and there's just honestly nothing you could do in this situation. Every team is going to have a weakness, and unfortunately I ran into the worst team I could possibly see. I'm going to throw a Bad Manners Earthquake, and I'm just going to the top left. GG's. Overall, this team is a great climbing team if you're looking to gain some ELO. One other strategy you can use is to get shields down or force switch advantage with the spamminess of Feraligatr, and then simply hard counter your opponents in the back. This team isn't perfect, and it does have its weaknesses as you've seen in the final match. There is no such thing as a perfect team, but if played correctly and being able to utilize the bulk of your back line, you can easily overcome disadvantages and pick up wins. Thanks for watching, and if you're enjoying my content, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Pokemonty out.